Philip Bailey. Philip Bailey on Congas. What's good? It's STEM Research, Mike and MFN Love. Back. Y'all have no idea how unready I am. Prepared and yet unprepared at the same time. I put some drops in my contacts because I've had them in for a few hours. Good evening. We are live by special request. Shout out to exclusive. She's like, when are you going live again? I was like, Monday. That didn't turn out too well. Best of. STEM Research is back. Song tracks, essential music, and a little bit of research. My name is Mike Love, and this is the show about your favorite songs broken down into their multi-track stems. So what I do on this show, if you are new to this show, hi, welcome to the show. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm here on all these social media platforms. Let me put them up. Let me put them on the screen so you can see them. There you go. Well, I'm not broadcasting on Bandcamp. Actually, I could. But we are live on Twitter. We are live on IG. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch at Mike and MFN Love. So, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here. So, we've been doing the show since June 14th of 2021. It is damn near April. April in just a couple of days. Sorry, I had some nuts in my mouth from earlier. A little snack. It is what it is. So, basically, I just go, I find the multi-track master to a great song, and I present that song. We start out with the instrumental of the song, and then we go track by track through the song, the vocals, stand alone, the drums, the keys, the horns, the bass, the guitar. We present a song like it's rarely been presented before. I can't say never, because this is the internet. There is nothing new under the sun. So, let's see who's here. Simsay08, hi, on Twitch, because I don't go live anymore, right? So, one of the things I've talked about on the show is just how the show has gone from 5 days a week to 3 days a week to live to, is it really live? Oh, this is a recorded show. Oh, this is the best of. There's no way for me to go in. I mean, there is, but it would be too much work for me to put the best of STEM Research on the screen. So what I do is I just pull out an episode, I drop it into today's technology. And here's the beautiful thing about it. Sometimes, it's sometimes you remember it as a old episode. Sometimes you don't. So sometimes people are watching like, is this new? Is he live? He's talking. He's reading the comments. And then it'd be like, this is taped. This is an old. What I always wanted to do was, because when STEM Research, the show, started, it was basically like you saw the show, and if you saw it, but that was it. There was no archive of the episodes. And for months I was thinking about how am I gonna archive the show. Am I gonna start a Patreon and have people subscribe? But I figured I would just start putting the episodes on YouTube, which is what we do now. And then all of the old episodes, when I rerun them, now they're on YouTube as well, so you can see them. Let's see what's going on Facebook. And shout out to y'all. Okay. All right. So shout out to everyone watching on all the different platforms. Shout out. Let's see who else is there. The the ma the the Maz man, the Maz man, Miss Shanita. What's going on? Shout out to all of y'all. All right, so here I am live, so doing shout outs because the show sucks without it, right? Because it's like, oh, it's still STEM research, but it's not the same because you're not. And I said this before. How you build a following and how this show built the following from the jump anyway was going on Twitch and interacting with people. Twitch is all about interacting with the people in the chat. It just is. So when I stopped interacting, people knew that something was going on, something different, and it was like, I don't even want to watch that show anymore. So it was like, went down to like 3 people watching it. It is what it is. I present this show for the people who, like me, are music nerds, people who are into this type of thing. Tonight, I was thinking about, the biggest artists of my lifetime, when I was a kid, at least. Basically, that's, in the 1970s. And like who ran the 70s? And I did Mothership Connection last week, and I just talked about how big Parliament and Parliament Funkadelic was to black music. Like they were humongous. And I just got to thinking about those handful of black artists that were just, without a doubt, were the artists that ran the 1970s. You know what I'm saying? Like the top of the food chain musically, black music wise. Marvin Gaye, the Isley Brothers, Parliament Funkadelic, Stevie Wonder, sometimes the Jacksons, depending on, I'm more or less thinking about throughout the entire run of the 70s. You know what I'm saying? From the beginning of the 70s, even though Parliament Funkadelic really didn't, pop until like 73, 74-ish. But they, when they did, they were on top of the game. And this group that I'm presenting tonight, Earth, Wind, and Fire, is definitely at the top of the food chain musically. Black musically, platinum albums, ding. Great albums, top to bottom, ding. Hits, absolutely. Memorable songs, great live album. They check all of the boxes, right? Who doesn't have a great live album? If you think Stevie Wonder doesn't have a great live album. Does Stevie Wonder even, I asked a question on Facebook. I said, what did I say? It was, name a live version of a song that's better than the original version. Like Distant Lover. The live version of Distant Lover where the crowd loses their mind. I talk about it all the time. Like that gives me chills every single time I hear it. Every time. And the album version of Distant Lover by Marvin Gaye is incredible in its own right. But for him to start out with the little Trouble Man music, throw people off, and then go into Distant Love, and then the people lose their mind like it's a Motown review from the 70s. That, my friends, is amazing. Absolutely amazing. But the group that we are spotlighting tonight, Earth, Wind, and Fire, checks all of those boxes. From 1972 through 1979, I would call that their classic period. From the time they added Philip Bailey, because they had 2 albums that went under the radar. Actually 3. Their first 3 albums. They had 2 albums on Warner Brothers, and then their first album on Columbia, Last Day in Time. is actually a very, very solid album. And I talk about, this is going to become the creed of the show, top to bottom. I listen to, and you should too, if you have not done this, start listening to your favorite albums all the way through. Don't skip any songs. And here's another idea, because this is something I've been doing lately as well. Listen to albums that you're not that familiar with. I was listening to Last Day in Time by Earth, Wind & Fire to get in the mindset for this show, to understand the development and the growth of the group Earth, Wind & Fire. And let me tell you something. They did not start from a bad place. I remember uncles and aunts having that album back in 72. And it was just like one of those albums that was like, man, it's a great funk-ish. I don't know. It definitely goes in the line of some genres. Like, it's not this genre-less. Like, it's funk. It's powerful horns, of course, that you would grow to love from Earth, Wind & Fire. But it's a great starting point as far as Philip Bailey joining the group and him helping to take them vocally into a different direction. Vocals were always handled by Maurice White, Verdine White, and Philip Bailey, period. The voices that you hear, for the most part, on any Earth, Wind & Fire song are those three guys. Philip Bailey, obviously on Reasons, it's just all him. I counted today, by the way. Anyway, we'll get to that when we start breaking down the albums. All right, let's see what they're talking about. How am I doing? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Hey, Mike and MFN Love and Stimulators. Shout out to the Stimulators, the crew on Twitch. All right, so keeping the show moving and staying in context with what we're talking about, today's song that we're doing is Happy Feelin from the album That's the Way of the World. It's an album cut. It's the third song on the album. And it's important, if you are a fan of albums, to know the songs that I play, because sometimes I'm going through songs, I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I won't do that. And I was listening to Happy Feelin, and I've had, I have the multi-track masters or stems for these songs, and I'm sitting on them all the time, and I'm saying to myself, I'm not gonna do that. And then I'll be like, yeah, that's a joint from that album. I want to get into the Earth, Wind & Fire albums in what I call their classic period, right? So we start out with Last Day in Time, which, as I said earlier, hold up, let me go to my thing. Yep, 1972. So that's 1972, Last Day in Time. Okay. Great starting point. If you're not familiar with the album, check it out. It's damn good. It's a damn good album. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. So, and after that, Head to the Sky with Jessica Cleaves in the middle as the female. Now, this is the album that definitely made them like, oh, okay, these guys, this is nice. Because Keep Your Head to the Sky is on this album, and Evil, right? I think Evil is the first song on this album. Yep. And Keep Your Head to the Sky, which I'm going to be honest with you, when I was a kid in 1973, when this album came out, I was like, the lady in white really sounds good. I thought that Philip Bailey was the lady on this album cover, Jessica Cleaves, who went on to sing in many bands, including the Brides of Funkenstein. She quit the group after this. Quit the group. She vocally is on the album. She must be buried on it because I think that's her hitting the notes with Philip Bailey at the end of Keep Your Head to the Sky. But I'm going to be honest. Like I said, it's 73. I'm 7 years old. I'm like, oh, that girl can sing. Little did I know. That was Philip Bailey. All right, so we move on. This is my favorite Earth, Wind, and Fire album cover. Open Our Eyes. Great album cover. Just the mountains behind them. They're just out there. The guys just standing there, staring into the camera. Everybody looks short, man. It's like when you see them standing all next to each other, it's like, wow, those guys are very, very short. Philip Bailey and who is that? Ralph Johnson. Very short. Very short. Maurice White, Verdine, the light-skinned brother, the dark-skinned brother, Larry Dunn. Everybody's on the album cover. Andrew Woolfolk, the guy that nobody remembers, Johnny Graham, and Al McKay. Did I get everybody? All right. So Open Our Eyes, another great album. That is the album that includes now we're cooking with gas on this album. This is 1974. Mighty Mighty is the first song on the album. Devotion is from this album. That's a very, very big hit by them. Kalimba Story is low-key one of my favorite songs on this album. The song about the kalimba, which is the instrument that it's going to be featured in this song that we're doing tonight. And it's an instrument that Maurice White. I'm gonna be honest. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't know anything about it. Right? I'd never heard of a kalimba before or since. That's the way of the world. Okay, now we're at like all wheels are turning. Right? This is their first classic album. This is the album that I feel is their most classic album. I mean, another great album cover. I talked about this when I did one of the stems. You have Ralph Johnson looking at you crazy, Larry Dunn tripping, literally. Karate Kicks, and Maurice White looking like, hey, I'm Maurice White. But and we'll get into this one with Tale of the Tape, because we're going to compare this album to one of the other albums. All right. So the next album in their classic period, Gratitude, the great live album, one of the great live albums of all time, of all black music and music period. What is that? Reasons, the live version of Reasons with the horn solo, with what is that? Don Myrick. You play so beautiful, don't you agree? That Eddie Murphy stole and used it in Coming to America, and now that saying is like people attribute that to Eddie Murphy and Sexual Chocolate, but that's really from this album, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy that comes from here. All right. Then we got Spirit, which, it's a good album, but it's not the greatest album. It's kind of like Charles Stepney had just passed away, and the band is dealing with, their main producer, other than Maurice White, kind of like they're figuring things out. There's some cuts on this album, there's some heat on this album, but definitely not in my top 3 or 5 Earth, Wind, and Fire albums. Now this one, all in all, from 1977, I can add this to my great albums from the year 1977. I forgot. I say this on the show all the time. 1977 is, in my lifetime, in my childhood, in my lifetime period, the best year for music that I can remember. There's a lot of great years. 79 is a great year. 84 is a great year. 87, 88, all of that. But 1977 for albums. This one, All in All, Rumors by Fleetwood Mac, Asia, um, the Heatwave album, Too Hot to Handle, Marvin Gaye, Live at the London Palladium, what was that? Real Mother For You by Johnny Guitar Watson, The Commodores, Saturday Night Fever. So many super, super memorable albums came out. Rumors was such a big album, I couldn't even, we couldn't even buy it. It was because my father, we would buy 8-track tapes and Peaches, and let me tell you something. If I came out of Peaches with Rumors on 8-track tape, he would have been like, "You just spent $8 on them hunkies." It never would have flown. It wouldn't have flown. So, and it was hunky, not honky, by the way. And finally, in 1979, the end of the classic period, I Am, which is, they had a hit in 81 with Boogie Wonderland. Boogie Wonderland is on this album. In the Stone is on this album. Of course, which is the black band anthem, right? Boogie Wonderland is on this album. I'm talking about 81, which was Raise. I call it the end because Faces was trash. Let's Groove was their last great hit in 1981. So there you have Earth, Wind, and Fire again, a group that more or less ran things in the 1970s. They had what I consider their two great albums. Let me pull those up for Tale of the Tape. All right, That's the Way of the World from 1975 and All in All from 1977. Certified triple platinum, both albums. All right, so you got that. You got both albums that are absolutely killer. Shining Star kicks off. I think for me, That's the Way of the World is when you look at the track listing, it's like, oh yeah, that's all of the heat. Shining Star, That's the Way of the World. Happy Feelin, the song that we're doing tonight on STEM Research. All About Love, we did that on STEM Research, one of the slow songs on the album. Great song. Yearnin' Learnin', a great album cut. Reasons, one of the all-time great Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. We just talked about it a few minutes ago. Reasons, the live version, of course. But this version, I counted for the very first time because we used to have a saying. My mother used to have a saying when I was a kid, or there was a saying when I was a kid. I try to use it nowadays and people think it's corny as hell. More reasons than Philip Bailey. So if my kid asks me a question and they want to know the reason why, they'll keep asking why, and I'd say you need more reasons than Philip Bailey. And the reason is because he says reasons in the song, or the reasons is said in the song 24 times. I counted it today. All in All, which is the favorite album. Shout out to my guy Reg Peeps, a.k.a. DJ Reggie Reg. Or DJ Reggie Peeps. We call him Reggie Reg. He said this album dropped in 1977 when he was 7 years old, and it just, from the album cover to everything else. And my guy Reg Peeps he's the person that I hit up when I want to talk to somebody about, or when I want to get some insight on Earth, Wind, and Fire, because he's the only person I know that picked Earth, Wind, and Fire over the Isley Brothers with the verses. He was like, oh, Earth, Wind, and Fire. He is the biggest Earth, Wind, and Fire stan. Shout out to my man Reg Peeps. Serpentine Fire, Fantasy, In the Marketplace, which is just a kalimba song. Jupiter, a great album cut. All in All is the better listening album. It is the better top to bottom, just listening to straight through. I literally just listened to it in the car. Love's Holiday, Brazilian Rhyme, which, oh my God, bop, 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 bop. That song has gotten a life of its own over the years, from hip hop DJs, from house DJs. I don't know, man. That just Brazilian Rhyme. It's just amazing. I'll Write a Song for You, another nice little slow song. Magic Mind, another great up tempo song. Running, a song that I want to do on STEM Research. I have the stems for that. Brazilian Rhyme Part 2, and Be Ever Wonderful, which is an incredible way to end this album. So, tail of the tape, I really can't decide, because I'm going to be honest, I'm a big fan of That's the Way of the World, and I was saying to myself, that's the Earth, Wind, and Fire album that, like, guaranteed, like, hands down. But after I listened to All in All today, I was like, man, that album kind of takes you to a different place. Whereas it's built around a theme, right? That's the Way of the World is a soundtrack album, and it's a bunch of really great songs on that album, and they flow incredibly well. But I might have to give it to All in All, even though we are doing Happy Feelin from That's the Way of the World, and that actually makes no sense because that's not the song that we're doing tonight. But maybe if we got time, I'll drop Running In, and we'll have some fun with that as well. So, Happy Feelin. You know how the show goes. If you're a fan of STEM Research, we start out with the instrumental. If you're not familiar with the song, get familiar. It's a great up-tempo song. As I said, it's the third song. I'm willing to say that the third song on any given album in this era is pretty important, right? Well, in the marketplace, that's not really a song. So Jupiter is the third song on All in All, right? It's the third song. Shining Star versus Serpentine Fire. Shining Star wins, absolutely, hands down. That's the Way of the World versus Fantasy. We didn't go back to back. Fantasy absolutely, positively wins. Absolutely. Happy Feelin versus In the Marketplace / Jupiter. We're going with Happy Feelin because that's the song we're doing on STEM Research tonight. A4, All About Love versus Love's Holiday. Ooh, that's a good one because they're both slow songs. I'm just going to call that a toss-up. Yearning Learning versus Brazilian Rhyme. Beijo. There's nothing is beating Brazilian Rhyme. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the great Earth, Wind, and Fire songs, and it's a minute long. But there's an extended version. There's a longer version of the song. It's like it's a song. It's an actual song. All right, so Happy Feelin by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Again, if you're not familiar with the song, get familiar with it. We'll start out with the instrumental and then go into the various parts of the song and start breaking it down piece by piece, track by track. It's a great up-tempo song, and it is not, even though the title is Happy Feelin, it has absolutely nothing to do with the song by Maze and Frankie Beverly, right? Sounds nothing like it. They just both have the same name, right? Happy Feelin. Happy Feelin. I was like, Earth, Wind, and Fire did that first? No, it's completely different. Completely different song. So, Earth, Wind, and Fire, Happy Feelin. STEM Research, Mike MFN Love. Let's dive into it. for your input on today's show. Appreciate you as always. Love you, brother. I hit Reg up. I hit him up today and I was like, Reg, I'm doing Happy Feelin on STEM research. Tell me how much you love All in All. And he's like, bro, Happy Feelin is on That's the Way of the World. It's like, I know, man, I know. But you're the only person I know that's like All in All. Well, DMT. And according to Reg Peeps, it's Kool Moe D's. This is also Kool Moe D. Well, not this, but All in All is Kool Moe D's favorite album. His favorite Earth, Wind & Fire album as well. So, in the company of greatness. Come on, Oregon. Larry Dunn on organs. So the song on the album is 3 minutes and 18 seconds. That was about 4 minutes, 4.5. A little over 4 minutes. Yeah, you could hear the kalimba buried in the mix. It is a lot more pronounced in the final mix of the album. And as you know, I mean, this is a rough mix. This isn't the final mix. All right. So Maurice White on drums. Like, you can kind of tell his style is, you know, Maurice White and Ralph Johnson handled most of the drums for Earth, Wind & Fire songs. But I'm willing to bet this is Maurice playing drums on this one, just because his style is a lot more loose. All right, so what we do is we start out with drums. I didn't name the shows. This guy, I'm sure it's going to have, if I go to YouTube, it's going to, if that dude hits the comments one more time on YouTube. So, what happens if I don't name the show? Like, you know, the algorithm on the one stream, which is the software that I use that sends this show out to all the different, the Twitch and Instagram and Twitter. It'll use like an old name for a STEM research show, and it keeps using, what is the name of that? It was like a show from January. So this guy, every time it happens, this guy jumps in the comments on YouTube, and he gets so upset. He's like, bro, learn how to use YouTube. I'm tired of getting notifications and it says the name of this show, and it's like the same name like 20 times. I'm like, man, it's not a YouTube thing. It's a one stream thing. So I know I didn't name this show, so it's just gonna be like random as hell. Cause I dived in. I'm like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. Let me get started. That's what I mean. Like the drumming is a lot more raw. That's why I feel this is Maurice White on drums. They don't have individual drummers listed for this song, but I'm willing to bet. What didn't the man do well? He sang, he played instruments. Drummer. Producer, arranger. You can hear the organ. Because the rhythm section was recorded first at Nederland at Caribou Ranch in Colorado. I'm not playing, man. These guys, this is from their first triple platinum album. They went triple platinum, and my Rapper's Delight went triple platinum. My Jalil voice. They recorded in like 3 different places in Colorado and 3 different studios in Hollywood. Guitars and vocals recorded at Hollywood Sound in Hollywood, California. Horns recorded at Sunset Sound in Hollywood. And strings for the album were recorded at the Burbank studio in Burbank, California. All right, so that's drums. Let's fly through some of the other instruments on the song. How about congas? You see, I got congas, and I spelled it actually like how I say it, and how all of the professionals say it, congas. Larry Dunn on organ. See what that kalimba's talking about. Like I said earlier, I would not know about the kalimba. This was Maurice White's instrument, man. He was playing the kalimba on all of the early albums, but when they made the song Kalimba Story, it made it make sense. Kalimba, kalimba, that's my shit still, bro. What's that from? Open Our Eyes? Open My... Man, look. Kalimba Story? Come on, bro. That was the Earth, Wind & Fire album. It was like, these guys are good. Open Our Eyes. That was, I told you, that's my favorite Earth, Wind & Fire album cover. Gratitude, as I was thinking about it, I was like, man, Gratitude is the shit, bro. It's hard to put one album in your favorites category. Normally we'd go with bass second. This dude is ridiculous on the kalimba. I've never seen anybody play it. I'll have to pull it up on YouTube or something. I always heard, you play it with your mouth. It's like a mouth instrument. It just reminds me of Evil. Evil is another song with the kalimba. Man, Maurice White is a bad man. Shout out to that brother. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to Maurice White. A bad, bad man. All right. I was watching Questlove. I was watching Questlove's, not watching, I was listening to his interview with Greg Fillinganes because I wanted to get some insight on Greg Fillinganes, as a producer and arranger and all that stuff. There was a moment in the interview where he was saying that Verdine White didn't really play the bass on all of these Earth, Wind & Fire songs. Like it was in one of the books. Maybe it was Maurice White's book, not sure. But he said it real quick and he jumped off of it. Because they were talking about Michael Jackson or the Jacksons brought Verdine White in to play bass on one of their records on Triumph, and it didn't work out. Like it didn't sound like exactly how they wanted it to sound, because they loved what Verdine White was doing with Earth, Wind & Fire, his bass playing on so many of the songs. And then when they brought him in the studio, they loved it, or they liked it, but they didn't love it. And then Questlove jumps in and is like, well, that's because it really wasn't Verdine playing on the record. And I'm like, well, who was it, bro? Spill the tea. Either way, I got Verdine listed as bass player. We know that when it comes to all things elements, it's Verdine on the bass. Let's see who checked in. Abstract 808, what up? He hit me with the what down. Welcome, Chicago style. Thank you for that. Cut 3 on That's the Way of the World. Give it a listen. Check out the album. That's what we do on this show. We get into album cuts. Happy Feelings, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Larry Dunn on electric piano. Verdine. That's dope. I mean, shit, if it wasn't Verdine, like, who was it? Like, who was it, bro? Like, this ridiculous bass player, studio guy that no one knows. Take the electric. Real instruments, man. Real instrumentation. Earth, Wind, and Fire. As I said, at the top of the food chain in the 1970s, man. Like, if I had to pick five bands that ran the 70s, or artists, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire definitely in there with Parliament Funkadelic. I said them earlier, like Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, and the Isley Brothers. You know, everybody else is just fading in and out. You know, Rufus, Shaka Khan, the Jacksons. It's a lot of up and down. Teddy Pendergrass. You know, Teddy's in there, further down the list, but he has a hell of a live album. All right, let's go to the guitars, rhythm guitar and electric guitar. We have 2 electric guitar tracks and a rhythm and a lead guitar. So let's see what these guitars do on this song. Rhythm guitar. Guitar is courtesy of Al McKay and Johnny Graham. Johnny Graham is my unsung member of Earth, Wind, and Fire, like the guy you just do not remember. Unless, of course, you're Reg Peeps. He knows the ins and outs of all things Earth, Wind, and Fire. But like, he doesn't have a signature. Signature look, anything. It's like he's one of the guys in the band, just happy to be there. Add some drums to this. DJ Big E, what up? Thank you for checking in, sir. I am Jet05. I just followed you because I like producers who stream on Twitch because so I can have so many choices. Which producer should I collab with? Well, Jet, I'm not a producer. I'm just a presenter of multi-track stimulation. All right, so enjoy, listen, and watch some of the greatest music ever produced. Earth, Wind, and Fire tonight. Happy Feelings from That's the Way of the World from 1975. Uh-oh. We have action with the guitars. Let me take that kick out. Nice. None of this made the final track because the song faded. It's at the 4-minute mark now. Shout out to my DJs. Thank y'all for joining the chat. Thank you for joining us on Twitch as well. All right, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the elements. The elements. Man, not too many bigger bands in the 70s, man. People really patterned a lot of their styles after these guys. And you cannot talk Earth, Wind, and Fire without talking about horns. So we saved the horns. Say the horns for last. Even though in 1975, this is, well, Phoenix Horns really is live album on, right? Because Don Myrick of the Phoenix Horns is on the live versions of Reasons. So you can kind of mark that as like the moment where the Phoenix Horns becomes a thing. Because up until that point, only the sax player is getting love. So not the heavy horn section that we eventually came to know and love from them, but horns always pronounced from their breakthrough album. I shouldn't call it their first album. From Last Day in Time, like on. Horn section very much an important part of the Earth, Wind, and Fire sound. And I don't care what group you're talking about in the 70s or the late 70s into the 80s. Artists wanted a big horn sound, a big sound like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Because again, they're at the top of the food chain. So everybody wants to be like them. All right, let's move this cursor down a little bit. Get into these. get some musical accompaniment with that. There we go. Nice. Andrew Woolfolk on tenor sax and soprano sax. Trombone from George Bohannon, and Oscar Brazier on trumpet. What's good, people? Welcome to S.T.E.M Research. Okay, so we have gone through all of the separate instruments. Let's get into the vocal performance, courtesy of the Brothers White and Mr. Philip Bailey. Happy Feelings. Let's go to the acapella track. All right. Separate that from the audio. Whoops. All right, let's bring it back. Bring it back.
Feeling, happy feeling in the music that we're giving. Feel the power of the hour, every moment that you're living. Little babies, tell the story. Mother Nature and its glory. Share the feeling with your brother. Don't stop caring one another. Little babies, tell the story. Mother Nature and its glory. Share the feeling with your brother. Don't stop caring one another. That's a reason that we're pleasing. What you're yearning, life's a burning. Lordy.
Come on.
Happy feeling, happy feeling, feeling, happy feeling, happy feeling,
Yeah.
happy feeling, happy feeling, feeling, happy feeling, happy feeling. Feeling, happy feeling.
All right, let me back that up because there were some background vocals that popped up that were really doing their thing. Let's take that lead vocal out and let's just hit those backgrounds.
Feelin',
Lower register.
happy feelin'.
Maurice White it up. Do a little Maurice White.
Feelin', happy feelin'. Feelin', happy feelin'.
All right, so let's back it up one more time and let's do the lead vocal at that same part. Let's take the backgrounds out. Backgrounds. We'll mute you. Oh, no. Nope, we're going to mute you. And then, there we go. We go. Let's back that up. It's a nice little note.
Feelin', happy feelin', happy feelin'. Feelin', happy feelin', happy feelin'. Feelin', happy feelin', happy feelin'. Feelin', happy feelin', happy feelin'.
Nice vocal performance. All right, let's move it up. Let's move the cursor up. Let's get this last bit of vocals and backgrounds. Getting a little bit too close. Here we go.
Feelin', happy feelin', happy feelin'. Feelin', happy feelin', happy feelin'.
All right, so not a lot going on vocally on that song. Just basically, happy feeling, little back and forth about, they didn't write a lot with this one. This one was more about the musicality of the actual song. Another thing that I wanted to do on the show today was not only to spotlight that song. Let me go back to my main scene. I wanted to do something extra. And the reason I want to do something extra is because of something that, so when I reached out to my man DJ Reg Peeps, don't save. Okay. I was like, man, give me your insight, your thoughts on the All in All album, which that song again is not from. And he wrote in the text, he said, it's one of the greatest albums that doesn't have a song for the title on the album. And that is true. Like most albums, not all. I mean, there's no song called Song in the Key of Life, but there's a song called Off the Wall on Off the Wall. There's a song called Let's Get It On Let's Get It On, etc., etc. You can go down the line. But Reg goes on to say, but if one song encompasses the totality of the album, it's running. The song basically gives you the idea and blueprint for where Earth, Wind & Fire was and was going in 1977. Flawless production and Philip Bailey laying vocals lush on top. So I always wanted to pull out the stems for that. And I'm just going to touch it just a little bit tonight because we got a little time. The shows are definitely going to be shorter, and this is a short show because your man's got to work in the morning, and I'm not staying up till I'm not doing 2-hour shows and 8 stems anymore. Those were fun days, and all of those shows will be going on the greatest hits. So, please watch those. But let me see. Let me make sure I can get some sound here. All right. Let's make sure we got sound. We do. We do have sound. It's the wrong running. That's not the right running. Oh my God. You know what? That's so funny. That's so funny. Like, fam, that's not Earth, Wind, and Fire. That's The Far Side. Mike Love, you screwed that whole thing up. Okay, let me plug the. Do I have time? Of course I have time. That's hilarious. And I just knew, I was like, oh yeah, I prepared the running stems a long time ago because I wanted to do that one. Earth, Wind, and Fire? Absolutely. Puh. No, you didn't, bro. That was Jay Dilla. So, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is when we do STEM research. Monday and Wednesday are supposed to be new shows, and Friday's supposed to be best of. However, yesterday was a best of because I didn't have time to put together a new show because my schedule is crazy and I'm doing this for the love. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I'm doing it for my ego and the fact that I love going through stems. All right? Let me see if I can find it. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Africano, Happy Feelin, All About Love. Damn, I got a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire on here. Can't hide love after the love is gone. Fantasy. All About Love, Happy Feelin. We're just going to have to. Oh, here it is. Brazilian Rhyme and Running. Audio files. I'm not going to be able to do it today. We'll have to do it another time. Reggie peeps, I'll have to do it another time for you because just the thought. Yeah, because my computer is already tripping. All right, so that was crazy. Like, right, that was The Far Side. All right, so another episode of STEM Research has gone the way of the world. That's the way of the world. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a part of everything we do. It was live tonight. You wanted it to be live? It was live. They got all of the beautiful liveness. Fuck ups and everything. We will return Friday. Maybe it'll be a new episode. Maybe I'll do running. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Or maybe I'll do something else. I don't know. Or maybe it'll be a best of. I'm figuring it all out on the run here because your man's working 12-hour days, 6 days a week. And that in itself is enough to be like, I'm not doing shit when I get home. So once again, shout out to everybody on Twitch. Hold up, I got to do Twitch shout outs because I can actually do Twitch shout outs. All right. Let me see who's viewing. We got 5 viewers. It's not like the old days when we had 15. Oh, man. Mr. Jokes. Olivia JD, Abstract 808, Academy Impossible, Agliette, another TV viewer, Claire Sir Shy Story, Eric FBMR, It's the Fritz, it's Ema, Kitty Ma, Cax IPS 06, Miss Shanita, and Own 3D. Thank you all for being a part of what we do. God bless you. Class is dismissed.